and welcome to episode 9 of Dynamically Spoken, GuildMag's podcast. It's been a week already since we last recorded, and I think that's just mental, to be honest. So thanks to everyone who listened to our episode last week and gave us feedback. We really appreciated it, and we've took everything on board. This week we're going to kind of take a look at Gathering Storm again, because we've had some more info in the last 7 days. But before we do that, let's just introduce who I'm with. So as usual, we have both Ali and Jason with us. Do you want to say hey, guys?
Hi.
Hello.
So that's them, and I think we'll just go straight into it with the news. I think, Jason.
Yeah, sure.
You want to kick that off?
Not much has happened, if we're really that honest. But make the best out of it. We the PvP match that we mentioned last week, called Spirit Watch. We got a video for that earlier on in the week, and the Orb of Ascension thing was sort of detailed a little bit. It's kind of like Capture the Flag, except Capture the Orb of Ascension. So, long name, should have really changed that. We also have some additions to the gem store, for you Valentine's Day people. Is that the official term? We have a bouquet of roses, so you control everybody who doesn't have a Valentine's and be like, oh, roses. And that is available for, till the 18th, I think. So that's Monday. So it might not be available. So, happy birthday. Also, the Valentine's Red Dye Pack is coming out, and that's going to be permanent, so you basically get a bunch of Valentine's shaded red colours, and you get to pay money for them, so yay. And finally, for all those low self-esteem characters out there, you can now change your hair for 20% less than you could last week, so go and do it. It looks super hot for your Valentine, even though Valentine's Day was 2 days ago, or 4 days. I feel like we're time travelers.
Yeah.
And that again is only going to be available for a couple of days, so get it now. We mentioned the expansion rumours last week, and Colin Johansson swiftly got on the forums as soon as we uploaded that podcast to tell us that it isn't happening. So, love you, Johansson. You're really nice. He basically debunked all the rumours and said that, yep, they're a firm who we speak to a lot in China, but they're lying. So that was quite depressing to hear, and my hopes and dreams have now gone down the toilet. Finally, something that only got revealed about 10 minutes ago at the point of recording this, there is now the preview option in the trading post. It was tweeted by coder/developer/all-round Guild Wars worker, if that's a word. So thank you very much, Kate, for telling us and once again allowing our dreams to thrive in this world. And finally, we have an interview with MMORPG.com, and they interviewed Colin Johansson regarding this very Flame and Frost update, and they detailed it a little bit more. So, yeah, that's about it. All the links are in the show notes, and I'm now going to hand you over to our host.
Hello. Okay, so we are going to take a look at that interview a little bit in depth now. So, first of all, on it, I think we're going to look at guild missions, because we kind of mentioned them a little bit in the last episode, but we didn't really go anywhere with them because we didn't know anything about them. But now we do. So basically, they are going to be open world that anyone can join in. So that's been cleared up. And first of all, I think that's a pretty decent social aspect to what they're doing, because obviously it does make recruiting easier and finding a guild easier. That's, if you want a guild that does a specific thing like the guild missions, then that's going to be... I don't know what I'm going with this, but you know what I'm saying.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be good.
I think the purpose, one of the purposes was recruiting, and so like if you have a guild mission, everyone can see that in the open world, everyone can see that the guild mission is going on and what kind of guild is doing it and how the guildies interact with each other. And if you see that guild doing a lot of guild missions in the open world, you remember them, and you kind of remember what that guild is about, and perhaps you think about joining them.
But I think it also means that for those, it might have actually been put in for this. Those people who don't have a large guild, or maybe not necessarily a guild at all, can still sort of join in with the festivities.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good idea. It creates so much, social aspect to the game. Like, oh, you started a guild, awesome. You started a guild mission, awesome. I'll come in and join you, and it just brings people together.
So yeah, these guild missions are going to be taking place across a range of locations, which I think they've done that partly to help with like bringing people back to more remote ones that you wouldn't necessarily go to. Because I mean, I know a lot of level 80 people now just kind of tend to hang around in Ore quite a bit.
I wouldn't go to
But I
Ore
mean,
to save my
how
life. So
how effective do you think this is going to be in sort of getting non-guildies to join in? Because if there aren't that many people around to begin with, do you think it's going to work, or do you think it might have some difficulties?
I
'Cause
think
I'm
it's
not too
I
sure.
think it's going to be a matter of, for the first week, everybody's going to be everywhere, and then sort of as it sort of settles down, we're not going to have so many non-guildies sort of joining in, only those who are leveling. I can really see it as, but it's still a good idea, and obstacle
Yeah.
courses. So yeah,
I can just
we're-
imagine how many guild events are going to happen in Queensdale compared to other areas.
I
Walk
am
into
only going
Queensdale.
to do guild events in Queensdale.
I don't think it will help, move the population around. I think the guild events will either happen in Ore or Queensdale, and I don't think it really encourage people to go to different maps and areas, which they seem to want us to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they also mentioned with the dailies thing that they're taking a look at how to sort of shift people around the maps a bit with like targeting dailies in specific areas, didn't they?
I have to admit, I was talking to some guildies about it. It's like when I'm doing my daily, I only ever stay in Queensdale because there's just so many people there. And I know some people don't like it, but I love the community. I love people talking. And I know definitely on Tarnished Coast it's really nice. Map chat is really nice and friendly most of the time. I just love being around people and knowing that if I do an event, there's at least going to be 5 other people there and we can interact. If I go to other areas like Decisa Plateaus, especially at my night time, there's no one there and I'm doing events entirely by myself and it's very depressing.
It's a bleak world. But I think what this also does is the whole diversity thing. I mean, I was kind of worried about us going back to areas that we don't really play in anymore, just being a cover-up for the lack of any new endgame content. But because they're also adding so many new dailies, it could sort of keep me interested for a little while longer. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna eventually be going for all the easy ones, but they've mentioned here sort of like 5 goals in keg brawl and stuff like that. And keg brawl's always fun, so to have a reason to actually play it again is always a good thing. Even if it's just with the NPCs, which I'm sure it will be.
I have a confession to make. I've never played Keg Roll.
Slap,
You're
head
missing
desk,
out.
head pain, cry,
How can you-
suicide.
How can you not play? To be honest, I only came across it by mistake, but
We had many evenings of shouting. I think I was muted by most of my guild members in our voice channel.
So, getting back to guild missions then, how do you think they're going to be sort of displayed for people? Like, dynamic events obviously come up on the map and on the little right-hand bar thing. Do you think they're going to have anything sort of similar for the guild missions?
Well, the guild missions are kind of like a sort of a advancement on the dynamic event system. Colin has sort of said it. So I'm guessing sort of they're going to move on with their love for multicolored boxes in the top right corner, and we're going to get like bright blue rainbows and guild mission. But because it is part of the event system, I'm imagining that will be involved.
I imagine it's just a dynamic event that guilds can put down.
Yeah. All the more reason for it to bug.
Do you think bigger guilds might have an advantage over smaller ones in the whole guild mission thing? Obviously, more people to do it equals.
I don't quite really understand the sort of advantage term because what advantage are you getting by that?
Well, I mean, for starters, obviously, bigger guilds will be able to afford to do more guild missions because they are doodads from the upgrades, aren't they?
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh.
But I mean, it's not really such a big thing because I mean, already bigger guilds have an advantage because they have more people to accumulate influence.
Yeah.
It's just something you have to work for. Like if you're smaller, of course, you're not going to be able to do so much stuff as if you're bigger.
Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily something you can really penalise them for because it's a choice thing.
Yeah. One other thought I had. Although they haven't released like all the information about what the missions are, do you think any would have to scale to the number of participants there are?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Do you reckon it's going to work though? Because I mean, we've seen how that's gone with some dynamic events.
Some, but
Well, okay, okay.
when a dragon flies down from the sky, I'm not complaining about the lack of mechanics.
Okay, so one other thing I wanted to look at for guild missions was the rewards that you get for completing them. There's two types, personal and guild-wide, and I think the two examples we were given were cheaper waypoint costs and for the guild-wide one, and the personal one that's some sort of like transformation tonic to turn you into a guild banner. That one I'm not too sure about really.
Banner powers activate.
As long as the banner gets legs. I don't know how they're going to work that one.
I just have like this sort of like Benny Hill theme tune animation going on now with a bunch of banners just dancing around. But I'm all for lower waypoint costs.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, definitely.
So do you think these are going to be enough to keep guilds doing missions after this? Obviously, the whole initial excitement wears off. Because I mean, from what they've said about the personal ones, I'm not so sure that you'd do it for personal reasons.
It very much depends on, as you said, how good the rewards actually get, and obviously after a certain period of time, how diverse the missions are.
And I think also availability is a big factor in the sense of if you're going to make it so that only guild leaders initiate events, it's, the guild leader's not going to be always around, and then they've got to do a certain time or do a certain event. If you do it so that officers, perhaps not everyone in the guild, but officers could start events, there'll be a lot more events going around, and if the events can be done by 5 people, I think there's no reason why they wouldn't do it. But if you're going to limit the availability to just guild leaders and, you have to have 10 plus more people or something like that, it would be a bit difficult to keep on doing it.
Yeah.
Alright, have either of you two got anything else you'd like to mention about these before we skadoodle
not
along?
about this topic.
Alright, okay, so I thought next there's Ali's come up with this link. Last episode we talked about the pacing of the living story and how we hadn't seen that much changing really, and there's a post up on a site called the Egg Baron. Basically what's happened is they've logged in every day to see how things have changed across like Wayfarer Foothills and all the areas in relation to this living story, and some of it's quite an interesting read actually, and the link will be in the show notes. So yeah, we might talk about spoilers now. If you want to find it out by yourself, you might want to just cover your ears for this part.
Dedication, there's too much.
So have you two read this post?
Yeah.
I have read it with great detail.
Any particular thoughts about anything?
It's going very slow.
How much has happened? It's the most fast-paced story I've ever had the joy of experiencing. I mean, Steam.
All the changes that the guys have put in, it's just really tiny, annoying little stuff like, oh, the Flame Legion did this, or, the Dredge did this, and, oh, there's a merchant with, I don't know, strange bleeding from his ears. And it's like, what? Is that all you're going to give us?
Going to roll out, and the entire top half of the map is going to be just gone. Because it blew up because we didn't get to save it in time because they wouldn't all the NPCs were so freaking stubborn they wouldn't say anything.
It's like to find out more information you actually have to talk to the same NPC 100 times to pressure them into talking to you. The developer's like, why didn't you get that?
I wish we could go back to, as much as it pains me to say, I wish we could go back to Corker.
But the steam, you were saying before about the steam rising is I like the environment kind of changing with the story. Very subtle, but as much as we bag it for going slow, I do admire that it is changing in certain ways. As in new NPCs and steam. So if you want to spend time looking at it, you can. For the rest of us, we just go, oh my god, when is the next update coming out?
I think we, after playing so long, we take for granted things that wouldn't actually appear in any other game, even if they're slow.
Yeah. I think other games, they'll be like, the whole kit and caboodle will just be plonked down in front of you, and they'll be like, there's the event. Go get it, boys. But for us, it's kind of like, we'll slowly ease you into it and tantalize you. And it does, in a way, I don't like that. Obviously something is happening, but it doesn't feel like it's happening to the world. Like, we feel like these characters have just wandered in and said, "Ooh, something's happening to me," but it's in my instance, and you know, like, there's not enough debris to warrant there's so many refugees coming through. Like, can we see some destroyed homesteads? Can we see some smoking, I don't know, fireball pits or something like that?
I'm hoping it'll move faster as the next patches roll out, because I can't imagine them, like, anybody thinking that sustaining it this slowly would actually be a good idea.
Yeah, I think that they should really do the sustaining in the sense of, or the patches in the sense of how long can the certain activity sustain it. For example, at the moment, the only activity is the refugees walking, taking their trinkets, doing up the signs, lighting fires, talking to people. That's the only thing. That little exercise, which I've already got the title for, I'm sure everyone in the entire world has got the title for, can only sustain someone for a week maximum.
A week?
I knew he'd say that. I knew he'd say that.
Because you got to give, like, people time, so if they can only play on, like, for the worst case scenario, if someone can only play on the weekend, that is, like, the longest that you can sustain that sort of activity. If they've pulled it out a lot longer than that, and it just feels like it's dragging its heels, like, what are we meant to do? It feels like I'm not really part of it. Like, I'm just waiting for something awful to happen rather than it being a part of it.
So, have either of you got anything else you'd like to mention? Because we're, like, rapidly approaching 20 minutes already, again.
So we all... do you have anything, Ollie? Sorry.
No, I had a shout out to give, if that's allowed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So recently I started another podcast with, it's called 2.5 Tyrian Girls, and it's about the point of view in gaming with a kind of Guild Wars 2 centric, point of view. And it's basically the point of views of 2 girls and a gay guy. And we kind of, talk about hard issues and things that might be a little controversial, and, so, if you're into that sort of thing, definitely please do go and check out 2.5 Tyrian Girls. I thought it'd be okay to mention that on a podcast because it's about the point of views of 2 girls and a gay guy, which I think is this podcast. I won't really
anybody
who's
into girls and a gay guy, you go there. You go there now.
We talk about controversial issues and stuff like that. I've already had someone thoroughly disagree with me, so.
Oh, okay. Now I'm listening.
All right, we'll put that link in the show notes for you.
Okay.
Very much.
Are we just about done here then?
I'm just very happy. I'm still having little mind dancers about the preview and the trading post.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I'm so glad that my low self-esteem is finally going to be fixed by these self-style haircuts. I've been trying to get the right style for weeks, and I just haven't. The products on the market are just not doing it for me. So.
Tell you what, I need a self-style haircut. I have not had my hair cut in so many months now.
Okay, now we're drifting out of.
I don't know. Are we role playing?
I actually did some role playing last night, and it lasted about 5 hours, and it was literally the most intense thing I have ever had happen.
We're talking about Guild Wars here, yeah.
Yep, we're talking about Guild Wars, absolutely. And yeah. Story for another day, though.
Alright, well with that, that just about brings us to the end of this episode. So, podcast@guildmag.com is the email address if you have any comments, questions, or whatever. And of course, you can use the comment system. We do read, or at least I do. We read them all, and we respond and whatnot.
And
yeah,
you can tweet us.
You
Absolutely
Yeah,
tweet
tweet
us.
us.
I'll put all the Twittery doodahs in the show notes as well.
And you can follow me on YouTube, and you can buy me things.
Alright, well, that's about it from myself, Ali, and Jason. So I guess we'll see you on episode 10.
Absolutely. It feels like we've done so many episodes, but like we're only on episode 2 in reality. So yeah, episode 10. Hooray! Bye.
Bye.
Show's over, guys. We're done. Thanks for watching this week.
How to kill a podcast in 20 seconds.
Okay, yeah, I've got it.
I'll see
Okay.
you.